Godspeed to the city streets.
It was almost 8 o'clock in the morning when you woke up, discovering yourself on an old wooden couch. Your one leg was dangling close to the floor. You sat up with a groan, your neck, back and legs were sore. Rubbing the back of your neck, you let out a frustrated sigh. In the meantime, your eyes fell on a wooden queen-size bed where your landlord was sleeping peacefully. She was deep in her slumber while legs and hands crossing the last edges of the bed. You looked around your room, which looked like that storm had messed up the small nest of yours. Half of your stuff scattered around the room packed, but you were quite okay with that, because if you didn't took this house on rent, you would surely have to spend night on the road. Last night your landlord kicked you out from his house as you had not paid the rent since last 3 months. While you were roaming in the streets in search of some shelter, you saw an old lady holding grocery items in her hands while she is your landlord now. You helped her by carrying her stuff to her house and also told her your situation. She was spitting on you and then offered you to stay at her house as her helper as you couldn't pay her rent. You found it a good idea and agreed to stay with her. You really had a hard time after your parents' death. Though you work in a club 7 o'clock to 12 am, sometimes till 3 am if the club is crowded. You don't like this job, but you have no other option as you are not qualified to be employed in an office. And if you didn't search the club on time, you get yelled badly by a manager or your payment is cut off. So you had to work there for fulfilling your daily needs as no one's gonna feed you. You had a single suitcase with you when you shifted here last night. Your stuff was still scattered around your room because you broke your suitcase when you were trying to drag it upstairs to your new room, which you will share with your landlord, as this house has only one room upstairs and on down floor. There is a living room which is a small TV and old wooden sofa to sit on, a small kitchen and a storeroom which is locked. Suddenly your landlord woke up and her mouth wide open when she saw the whole room messed up while you were sitting on the couch pressing fingers on your forehead and you had a slight headache. Why this room is so messy? Didn't you clean it last night? She said, looking around. I'm so sorry, but I had a bad headache last night and I fell on the couch to have some rest, but I don't realize when I fell into a sleep. But don't worry, it will take me few minutes to clean up this mess. You said, reassuring her. Okay, fine, clean it up fast. I don't wanna see damage caused to my room, she said in a dominating voice. You nodded quickly, bowing down at her, and then she left the room after ordering you to make coffee for her after cleaning the room. You felt annoyed, but you had to listen to her as you were compelled. You looked around the room and then taking a deep breath, you started to clean the whole room. It took you almost 1 hour to make the room clean and tidy. You took a bath after that and then came out to wear something nice, which surely you hadn't. Come downstairs, Vian, she yelled out. I'm just coming, just give me some more time, Miss Louise, you said while fixing up your dress and putting a little makeup on. You wore a black casual dress which was short and tight fitted, but you had to wear this kind of dress because it was your job requirement. You were tying up your hair, but your landlord yelled out. Taking a deep sigh, you leave your hair open and rush to the downstairs. There Miss Louise was sitting while knitting her woolen sweater. Why you are so late? She looked up at you with her big brown eyes. Actually, the room was messy a lot and I am also slow, you said looking down at the floor. Okay, get lost to the kitchen and make coffee for me, she said and pointed at the kitchen. You nodded, rushing to the small kitchen. You made coffee for her with some sandwiches, which she ordered later. After you were were done, you placed the food in a tray and walked to her in the living room. You placed the food on the table and was about to go, but she gestured you to stay there and have breakfast with her. You realized that she was not that bad, which made you little happy. Now clean the whole house as you have done breakfast, and after that iron my clothes and make boiled rice with stew for lunch. And yeah, don't forget to mop the floor after you broom it, she said and rested her back on the sofa. You nodded while cursing her from inside and then started doing house chores. It was probably 5:30 o'clock in the evening when you were all done. As you sat on the couch taking a deep sigh, you were surely exhausted by the end of the day, but that was not all. Why, and my daughter, if you don't mind, can you please go and get fresh fish and some avocado? I'm really craving for it, dear, she said with eyes twinkling. You let out a sigh and then, forcing a smile, you nodded in yes and got up from the sofa. Well, my car is outside so you can go by that, and yes, the key is on kitchen counter, she said with a cheeky smile. You hummed and picking up the key from the counter, you ran to the outside searching for a car, but you couldn't find it. Suddenly your eyes fell on a small, no, tiny, one-seated blue car, which made you groan. You took a deep sigh before heading towards the car. Plopping into it, you turned it on and drove it to the city in search of fresh fish and avocado. It was around 9 o'clock and majority of the shops that sell avocado and fish were closed. After driving half an hour, you found a place where these items were available. We went inside and after buying the items, you paid the bill and came back to car. You turned the radio on while driving as you like music, but it was not your type, so you turned off the music. You were waiting for traffic light to turn green, and as soon as it did, you were about to take a right turn, but another car came crashing into yours. Your eyes widened while heartbeat started to beat rapidly against your chest. You inhaled few times to control your rapid breathing, releasing the seatbelt from your belly. You opened the door, getting off from the car. You were not at fault, it was another car, so you wanted to teach a driver some good lesson. It was a black, luxurious car which you had seen for the first time. You slowly knocked on the door, but there was no response. Oh, you could be so ridiculous. First you hit my car and now you are not opening the door. Who the hell are you? You said, sounds like shouting. The driver on passenger seat rolled down the window and glaring at you, he handed you some money. Boss is getting late, so take this money and get lost, he said and looked at you unknowingly. What? You are handing me money and think that I am fool? You hit my car, mister. Instead of apologizing, you are showing off your wealth, he said, throwing the money back on his face. I don't want to mess up with you, bruh, so get out of my way, he says, gesturing you to get lost. You blinked your eyes, giving him a disgusting look, and then you slam on the door. Nonsense, behave yourself, you yelled at him. Suddenly your eyes fell on the black seat. The window was closed so you couldn't see the person inside it, but you noticed that he was in a black suit wearing black hat. Tell your boss that I am not afraid of him. Not at all, you said, and kicking on a window, you cursed at him and then sat in your car. The car was already damaged, so you didn't bother to take it to the mechanic. You turned on the car and drove it back to your rented house. You took a deep sigh, placing the fish and avocado on the table and sat on the couch. You were really pissed off from what had happened to you today. How one could be so arrogant and mean. How dare he to shut my mouth by giving me some money. I was not the one who broke the traffic rules, but he was the one. Then how dare he yell at me, you said to yourself with nose flaring. Meanwhile, your landlord came and sitting on the couch beside you, she looked at you. Aren't you late to go for a club? She asked. What time it is, Miss Louise? You said while shrugging off your shoulders. It's 10 o'clock, she said, glancing at the wall clock. Your jaw dropped while eyes opened wide, hearing the time. She took a sigh and got up. Oh no, okay, Miss Lewis, I gotta go, you said, rushing outside the door. You have drinks in a club after getting scolded by a manager. Enjoy it, you said, serving drink to a man in a white shirt. He then sat on the bar chair and gave you a smirk. Hey, is this seat taken, beautiful? He said, staring into your eyes. You let out a scoff before looking at him. You have already taken it, you said with a scoff and poured the drink in another glass. Suddenly, a man in black suit entered the club. He stared at you, removing hat from his hat, and then walked to you. Make drink for me, he said, and sat on a bar chair beside the first man. You nodded and gave him a drink. Here you go, sir, you said, and extended drink to him. What's your name, beautiful? He said, giving you a playful smirk while leaning to the counter. You let out a laugh sarcastically, as he knew his intention was not good. My name is, I'm sorry, but I don't remember, you said, giving him a knowing look. Oh, you really don't remember? He leaned closer to you with a devilish smirk. You stepped back until your back hit the counter. Girl like you shouldn't work in this kind of place, he said, and played with the strand of your hair. You tried to push him but couldn't, as he was stronger than you. Suddenly, a man in black hat got up, slamming the glass on the floor. He walked to you brusquely and punching the man, he let out a yell. How dare you to touch her, he said, kicking. You looked at him, frowned, as you didn't know who he was and why he helped you out. Who the hell are you? He said, mumbling. Jeon Jungkook, he said, shooting him a stare. The man's eyes widened and he ran out the club just in a blink of an eye. Jungkook turned to you with nose flaring. You are not brave, Levi, and you are not at all. He gave you a glare. What do you mean by? Before you say something, he put his finger on your lips. When you are quiet, you look beautiful, he said, staring deep into your eyes. Pushing him away, you let out a sigh in disbelief. How do you know my name? You asked, confused. If this should be asked, he questioned, throwing his eyebrows. Then what should I ask to you? Your number? Your girlfriend? You have bungalow on nice cars, bank balance, what? Tell me, Mr. Jungkook, you said, giving him an annoying look. Hey, my name is Jungkook, not Jungkook, he said, leasing the last word. Whatever, tell me, who the hell are you and how do you know my name? You replied coldly. I'm not in a mood to fight with you, he said, glaring at you. You are not, but I am. Tell me, how do you know my name? You yelled at him. He inhaled and then exhaled before letting out a chuckle which was for sure sarcastically. Staring at you for one last time, he left the club, slamming the door so hard behind him. You narrowed your eyes before following him behind. Reaching outside, you saw the man's black car which was hit on you few hours ago. Before you yelled out, everything got blurry in front of you and you fainted. You woke up with a massive hangover. You tried to look at your surroundings but couldn't, as you still had a blurry vision. Putting your hand on your head, you moved your fingers on it and twinkled. Looking around, you saw a man sitting beside you while smiling, looking at you. Who are you and why you brought me? Hey, you said, and your vision got clear. Your jaw dropped when you saw a person behind this. What happened, sweetheart? You said that you are not afraid, then why I see your fearful eyes? He said, moving his finger. I'm not afraid, you mumbled, looking at him. You are, but you shouldn't. By the way, I hope you won't mess up with Mafia in your dreams even. He said, giving you a smirk and then left out. Soon your stomach started to grumble with hunger. But I can't let my stomach starve. I will have to get something to eat, you said, getting up from the bed. Rubbing your belly, you walked to the downstairs. Your mouth dropped when you saw a huge mansion It was so big and beautiful that you didn't believe your eyes. He lives in this much big mansion, you said to yourself while looking around, but suddenly the same grumble came from your tummy, which made you groan. You looked around and saw a huge kitchen. Sighing in relief, you rushed to the kitchen and looked inside the fridge. He hardly had anything in the fridge, which made you whine. You turned around and got startled, seeing Jungkook standing in front of you. You looked down shyly and tried to walk outside, but suddenly Jungkook held your hand. Leave me, you said loudly, trying to push him away. Stop moving and look at me, he said in his deep voice. You didn't listen to him and started struggling from Jungkook's tight grip. Jungkook ignored you and stared into your eyes. Can you tell me why my heart beats like crazy around you? He said, admiring your gorgeous features. You stop moving and then slowly look up into his eyes. You realize how handsome he was. He doesn't look like a mafia. He looked like your dream prince. Shrugging off your thoughts, you glared at him, but he let out a chuckle in return. Running his hand gently, stroking your hair, his grip on your waist tightened. But suddenly his stomach made weird noise, which was heard by Jungkook as he scrunched his eyebrows looking at your tummy. Do you wanna eat something? Why you didn't tell me earlier? You should have told me now. He said, and releasing his hand from your waist, he headed to the stove where apron was placed. Wearing it, he took out a piece of meat from the fridge and started to make the steak. You looked at him and then sat on the counter chair while putting your both hands on your cheeks. Soon he was making the steak as he placed it in front of you, and then removing his apron, he sat beside you. Enjoy it, he said, staring. You looked at him confused and then feasted upon the steak like hungry lion. Jungkook let out a giggle looking at you. Slow down, Vayan, no one's gonna snatch it from you, he said, trying to control his laugh. As soon as you realize, you get back feeling embarrassed. Continue eating, but remember that you are not gonna treat hair like a spoiled brat, he said, pretending to act cold. I'm not spoiled brat and thank you very much for steak. He said, moving the apple plate to his side with a scoff. Jungkook narrowed his eyes, crossing his arms over his chest. Why this much attitude? You know you are in a mafia's place. You know this, right? He said, looking at you as if he was trying to read your mind. What do I do if you are mafia? Should I bow down at you or call you boss? Who and what would you do if I disobey you? He said, looking deep into his eyes. What would I do? He said while laughing sarcastically. You frowned, shrugging your shoulder and your hair while crossing your leg over others. Jungkook bit his lips looking at you and then flicked his hair as if he wanted to impress you, but suddenly he remembered something. He cleared his throat looking around. Hey, sit properly. You are not a kid. His cheeks were heating up. This was noticed by you and your heartbeat raced faster. Hey, don't command me. I'm not your servant who works for you, he said. He let out a chuckle sarcastically looking at you. Fine, just sit as you want, Levian, he said, shrugging his shoulders. You roll your eyes, glaring at him. Well, how long it took you for becoming mafia, Actually, you don't look like mafia and I don't think so that you are capable of it. He said, biting your nails while giving him a side eye. Jungkook didn't reply to that and his eyes began to scan your face and then lowered. You fidgeted under his gaze as you gulped down looking at him. He was dreadfully handsome. He was not like that typical mafia or something like that. Instead, he was behaving so nice to you. There was an unknown spark in his eyes that was urging you to kneel down for him. Your mini heart was melting like an ice cream for him. He came to you and then putting his both hands on kitchen counter in front of you, he gave you an intense dark stare which was surely fearful for you. wanna know that what I am capable of, he said in his deep voice. You felt your heart will soon leave your body as it was getting out of your control. His soft lips were, but you scolded yourself. No, I don't know anything, you stuttered, gulping down. But I wanna know that why you are so beautiful and innocent. Why my heart is betraying me every time I see you. He said, admiring your face with a smile. You got startled hearing by this as you parted your lips to say something, but soon you felt your Jungkook plumpy lips on it, which made your eyes grow wider. But you being back quickly, making him stunned. Similar is the case with me, you said as he broke the kiss. But you were not over. Held him by his tie and gave him a kiss. Jungkook lifted you up and took you to his bedroom. After an hour,